Hello, everyone out there on the internet. It's James Ferguson, one half of the Raging Nerd On team. BJ Booth is not with me this week. Instead, I'm joined by my much prettier co-host, my wife, Monica.
I don't know what I have to say here.
That's where you say hello.
You've already introduced me.
That's where you say hello. You can still say hello to the people.
You know.
Okay. So, nothing but the proper etiquette from my significant other here. But she joins me once again. For long-time listeners of the show, you'll remember an earlier episode where we reviewed the four, at the time, only four DC superhero shows on the CW, which we all watch on a regular basis. That was just after we all meaning you and I, all two of us, we all, yes. Then that was right after the big four-part crossover special that they did, and now all of the shows have ended, and so we're back to do another kind of retrospective as to what we thought about all four of those shows, because in all these things BJ doesn't watch, I can't talk to him about it, and Monica has been itching to talk about this kind of stuff too. Well, some certain things anyway, which we'll get into in the show. But as a reminder, these four shows we're talking about are Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. We will touch upon what we see for next year as well, with the addition of Black Lightning on the CW. But first, I want to talk about the upfront presentation that we actually both went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, again, if you've listened to the show before, there was an earlier episode where I talked about my day job is in advertising. So I went to the Nickelodeon upfront a few months back. That was where I saw Pitbull perform for some odd reason. Every network does this. Even a bunch of websites do this as well, although the websites call it a new front because they're different and they're on the internet. But in any case, we went to the CW. It was the first time I've been to that one, and I joked with the rep when I got the invite saying, "Oh, I can, my wife's going to be jealous." And he goes, "Oh, we'll bring her along." And I go, "Well, okay, I'm only like half joking that I will." And he goes, "So am I. Go ahead, bring her along. We got plenty of room. Go ahead." So we got Monica on the guest list.
Well, first you had come to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to the CW upfront."
Yes.
There's a chance that there will be the actors there.
Talent.
The talent.
What they call it.
Sorry.
Talent will be there. Yes. So that happened, and I have never been to the CW upfront before, so this is the first time going. I don't know what to expect. Everyone does it a little bit differently. What traditionally seems to happen is they'll have a presentation, and then that lets out, and there will be cocktails and food or appetizers, and then what is affectionately called a celebrity petting zoo, where the talent that they have throughout the show is out on the floor for you to meet, say hello to, take pictures of, and that was when Monica kind of lost it. Of like, now I need to come to this. What are you doing? Yes, I will come to this. I will take a day off of work to come to this.
I took a day off of work in the expectation that I would get to pet some celebrities.
Yes. Now, we went to this, and it was at 10:30 in the morning. Or I think it started at 11, but it was at 10:30 in the morning. So, and I don't remember being at one of the ones that have been at like 10:30. But with something like that, you would assume lunch or something like that. That was not the case here.
Well, we didn't find that out until after.
Yeah,
so we go in. We go
no
into
food.
the huge stadium,
it's a huge theater in Manhattan, and
the celebrities were paraded out. First up was
before that, apparently there was like a red carpet somewhere which we were not privy to.
Oh, right.
So there was like a whole group of people going in that we just didn't even see there. But then
there were fans screaming about
someone from Pretty Little
show.
Liars that has a show on CW now. But even before that, I wanted to
we're
stress,
so up on pop culture.
So Monica and I were there, and then one of this other woman that I work with showed up, who has been working with me for about a year, and this is one of the reasons why Monica and I work so well together is that I am horrible at small talk, and Monica is the complete opposite. So you would be surprised. You would be very surprised.
I am very okay at faking small talk.
Well, in that case,
I would not say I'm good at small talk
in about 5 minutes, you learned more about this woman than I have working with her in a good year. You're asking all these questions about where you're from, where'd you go, what is your fiance like, all this stuff, and I'm like, I never thought to ask her any of these things. But I guess that was the difference, and then I guess I don't know. You were if you were faking it, you were doing a great job.
Well, I was also sitting next to her.
Yes.
So, yeah, I hate to say, oh yeah, I totally faked a conversation, but I was like, you feel pressured in scenarios like this. This is my first time meeting someone. All you've told me about her is that she's engaged.
Yes.
You work together, and she's pregnant.
Yeah, that's it.
And her name, and that was all you gave me.
Yeah.
So
and we worked wonders with that here. It was great. And then the whole time I'm sitting there going like, oh, I never thought to ask that. Like, like basic questions like where are you from or like how are you? No, I think that one I've done before, but it's
didn't expect a real answer from.
Yeah. So, but in any case, that happened, and then they started this show, and there's always this awkward presentation by like salespeople and stuff. One guy came out because the superheroes were like all over this presentation. It is clear that this is a major factor of the CW.
The
right
CW
now.
Right now it seems to be just based on supers.
It's built on superheroes. Like they're
not just superheroes, but like supernatural.
Yeah. But specifically, also, but specifically the DC shows. Like they said that 4-part crossover was like their biggest event, the biggest like a ratings event they've ever had, kind of thing. So it's kind of nuts. But they had like a cheesy like opening with like executives trying to mug it up and just groan-worthy jokes. But in any case, they had Supergirl there, Melissa Benoist, and I think Katie Lotz or something is her name. Sarah, who plays Sarah, the White Canary in Legends now. They were both there. They got paraded out on stage for a moment to say hi, and that was little else.
Well, no, they had to make a lame joke about a green money cape.
Oh yeah, because the guy, the executive came out after showing clips with a big cape, a big green cape on, and then they had to like look at him awkwardly and say, "Hey, what's with the cape?" And he goes, "Well, I thought I could join you and be salesman." And then he turned around to reveal that there was a big dollar sign on the back of his cape, and it was really lame. And you
could see the ladies cringing on stage.
This
is
part of my contract.
Why am I doing this?
I have to do this. So that happened, and then that was kind of we also saw the guys from Supernatural who are no longer children. They made sure to verify they are not boys. They're not the Winchester boys, but those guys were there.
Men.
And then there were a handful of other like folks that we didn't really care about with some of their newer shows like Dynasty. But then,
but
also,
Jane the Virgin.
Yes, she was there and said the woman who played.
I hate the commercials for this show.
Quick sidebar on that. So we watch the CW through the CW app because we don't have cable and we refuse to pay that. So in any case, we were watching that, and for whatever reason, we got hit with the same house ad for Jane the Virgin.
We have only ever seen one house ad for Jane Virgin, and it's just
oftentimes it would be played back to back to back. So it's just over and over and over again to the point where it's like we will never ever watch this show now. Like this could win all kinds of awards. Everyone we know could say it's the greatest show on television, but I don't think we'll ever watch this show.
Yeah. I agree with that. And unfortunately, your coworker who was there, this was her favorite show. That
was the show that she came to see.
That is the one that she watches. But I have to say that the actress from that show, she came out, she had the most genuine and heartfelt, I hate to say speech, because it seemed like she was just kind of like flying from the seat of her pants on this. So it was really, what's the word I want to say? Endearing. It was absolutely endearing, and if I didn't hate the commercials so much, I would consider watching the show.
It was very authentic.
Yes.
What she did. So that, and then we saw a clip for Black Lightning, which is the new DC show, which will be on in the mid-season. An older hero. I believe it's set not in the same universe as Arrow and Flash and stuff. So maybe it's another Earth. We don't know the specifics there, but he's been around for a while. Looks like a pretty cool show. I'm not entirely sold on the costume, though. It looks kind of weird. It looks kind of like 90s, like Mystery Men kind of era
I see
movie.
that.
You know what I mean? But well, I'm gonna watch it anyway. It's by Berlanti, and we've loved everything else that he's done. Although you didn't care for Riverdale. We could talk, yeah. So spoilers abound for all this stuff.
Because for Black Lightning,
but
from my
that
understanding,
clip has been out.
The kids are supposed to be getting
yes,
powers
that's not a secret.
Okay,
So and that happens in the books as well. Like his kids get powers.
Okay. So we haven't seen their costumes.
No,
maybe their costumes are okay because maybe his costume is a throwback to when he was previously a hero. So there could be changes in that. Yes. Absolutely.
But that looks like a fun show. I'm curious. I mean, look, they can always roll it in if it is another Earth or something like that. Then obviously they have no problems with that with Supergirl now. So. But so that was any other thoughts on the upfront? Oh well, let's just add on the upfront that we were ushered out after the show immediately after to the street where they were handing out
here's some what was it?
It was chocolate caviar
for caviar and champagne.
But it was called chocolate caviar, which are these little rinky-dink candies called sixlets. And champagne gummy bears.
Champagne flavored gummy bears. No actual alcohol in them, unfortunately.
So but no other celebrities, nothing else. So Monica was rather disappointed.
Well, I took the day off of work to pet some celebrities.
Yeah, and we didn't get any of them.
You got to see them from a distance.
You were even thinking about like poses to do with some of them.
Oh yeah. I was totally like, okay, what are we gonna do if Supergirl is there? What kind of like pose will we do with Supergirl that we could seem fun and like whatever?
That she'll like us and realize we're really cool and want to hang out with us all the time.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, we're thinking it. But unfortunately we didn't get to get up close and personal with any of them. And no, there were no other ones there from the superhero shows aside from that. I mean, the cast from Black Lightning was there, and Supergirl and White Canary were there, but no Stephen Amell, no Grant Gustin, or those folks, which was a bummer. No, not even Brandon Roth. I'm sure he's got other things to do. Out of everyone, who would you most wanted to see? All of the entire cast. Yes. Well, I'm asking for the listeners at home, honey.
Totally Supergirl.
Yeah, I have to agree because while I think Stephen Amell personally is an interesting and fun person.
Sorry, I totally just rolled my eyes there.
I think Supergirl etches Melissa Benoist definitely edges him out. She seems like the most fun person there.
Well, not only fun, but we see Stephen Amell on his Facebook page all the time. But what really, and I'm hoping I'm using this word right, what really ingratiated me to Melissa was her march.
Mm-hmm. When she was at the Women's March. Yeah.
So,
which was a great picture of saying, "Hey, you could try to grab my pussy, but it's made of steel." Like,
can't grab
so,
mine.
So yeah, we're definitely on board that train. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, and in case you didn't know, we're pretty liberal here in New York.
Just a tad. If you couldn't tell from the rest of the show, Trump Cinnabon 2016 there. But in any case, let's talk. Yeah, that was an older joke before you started listening. BJ will get it. That was just for him. So,
and the listeners who were from
that, they'll get it. They'll get it. It's fine. It goes back. So, the season has now ended. There are no new episodes coming out right now. Actually, all of it's on Netflix right now. So if you haven't watched those yet, you can go and do all that before listening to this because we will be spoilering abound
and go watch
for everything. But they are all on Netflix due to CW's deal with Netflix now is that 8 days after the season ends, the entire season shows up there. So
hear that, BJ?
Yeah,
Get to it.
Go in there, catch up. But let's go in order. I think that's what we did last time of where it airs. So we're gonna start with what I believe is our favorite in both cases. With Supergirl.
Yes.
Started on Monday nights. I think it's still going to be the case on Monday nights. It seems like a good opener for it.
I remember they listed when it was going to be.
It's going to be on Mondays still. It's still going to be on Mondays. That's their time. Okay. But in any case, definitely our favorite. I don't know if it's like one thing that's like this is. I think it just all adds up to like it's the characters are good, the relationships are good, the action is good, the villains that they incorporate are good. It all just kind of works together in such a great way to make it a great show.
And I think the parallels to our current climate.
It does seem very political in a lot of cases. So there were episodes about it's alien rights, but in reality you're looking at that as as human rights, whether it's about race or gender or LGBTQ,
immigrant status,
immigrants was a bit.
I've
glossed over that. I feel like immigrants is definitely the main one.
Yes,
you talk about aliens and stuff, and they're treated like immigrants. So, it was pretty good the way they set all that stuff up. It's just like it was positioned in such a way that they didn't like hit the issue over your head with it. It was like immigration is important. It was like, oh no, that totally makes sense, and that is a valid point.
And I'm going to take this to the side because you say, they didn't hit over the head, whereas they had an entire episode of Arrow on gun control.
Yeah, that was way over the head. That was like very specific. I'm surprised it didn't end with like
a PSA.
Stephen Amell going like, for more information about gun control, contact such and
Your
this
senator.
number or something like. It was one of those things, like a very special episode of Boy Meets World, like what you'd get at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, because we are the exact same age.
So still sticking with Supergirl. I know you were a very big fan of this, and you're making this like face already of specifically the relationship between Supergirl and Mon-El, who is from Daxam, a real character in the show. I don't know that they ever interacted in the comics, but from Daxam, and powers similar to the Kryptonians when on Earth, but you
not quite.
You're not quite as strong and powerful and whatnot, but similar powers. But you were very much pulled into that relationship.
I had the extreme girl reaction of going, it's almost every time they were on screen together. Yeah. They occupied my mind throughout the week because they were frankly adorable. I can't.
It was the best. I think it's the best relationship, certainly, of any of the illicity. That's over. All right. It's all about. I don't even know what you call it. Mono girl. Like you can't. They're not trying to like put the names together.
I know.
Like what they did with Sandvers with
I know.
Maggie Sawyer and her sister, whose name I can't remember. But
because you can't do Mon-El and Kara Zor-El because then it's just Mon-El. So or
you can't see
Kara
Kara-El. Like it doesn't work out. We'll work on that. Karamon? No, she's a Pokemon. That's fine. It was a pretty adorable relationship, and unfortunately you saw it kind of the writing on the wall as to like there's no way he can stay in the show.
There wasn't writing. I mean, it was like obvious.
That was the conclusion, and then the way that they went about it was in such a way that it's like he can't, like not only
you
did
can't
he can't
have
leave,
happy
did he have
relationships
to leave.
on a television
unless they
show.
get married.
Not even, because then you have to have marital strife.
Yeah, but I think it's less so in that like they'll fight, but there's no danger of them breaking up to an extent. Like once that ring goes on, then it's a little more.
I don't know, because these shows in general have been all about, also pushing societal societal issues, and one of those big issues is divorce. So why wouldn't they bring it up?
True. Oh, excuse me. But I don't. I think that's
obviously they're really young.
Yeah, I mean, but the whole will they won't they is that excitement factor with any show, but then once they get into the relationship, that excitement goes away.
Right.
But I feel like once they get married, that's when it's like it's okay. Like that's when all right, this relationship isn't going anywhere. They solidified it in that case. But unfortunately for their relationship, there was not a breakup in such that they got into a fight or something.
You knew it wasn't going to be. It was going to be a gut wrenching. Yeah. He can't stay here.
Yes. They release some sort of lead into the atmosphere. Daxamites that's their kryptonite, and that it was such an extent that like it wouldn't harm humans, but it would affect them.
Which I don't know. I don't know how you could release lead into the air.
Aerosol lead.
Right,
yeah.
And then make sure that no one on Earth was getting too much more of this lead. That it would not be harmful to them, but I'm suspending,
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a bunch of people in National City right now dying of lead poisoning. So but I'm sure it's safe. It's fine. But I mean, look, it's a comic book show, so that kind of stuff you have to go with some of that logic. But so he can't stay. He's gotta go, and there was a tearful goodbye, and he gets launched out into space, to presumably to follow his the rest of his ships.
No,
although he's kind of an exile there, so then we don't know where he would go.
They were beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He couldn't follow them.
We don't really know
he's
where
a total
he would
exile.
go.
He was just out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he would have gone to Mars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go hang out with the white Martians, but. He gets sucked into some sort of black hole at the end of the episode.
Which is distressing in itself,
yeah,
but I mean,
but that leaves it open.
It does leave it open
because
if you just ended it where he's like, oh, he's in space, just looking for somewhere else. It's like he could just radio back and talk to Kara and be like, oh, hey,
that's fine.
Whatever. And then it gets drawn out, and then it gets weird, and then how do you address that in the next season?
The longest distance relationship ever.
Right. It's like you can't come back here, but maybe I can go visit you. Oh, but I'm too busy. You know, I have to save this world.
But I brought up a point after, because I'm always trying to find ways that I can shoehorn Green Lantern into one of these shows. I'm pretty sure.
Is it just Green Lantern, or is it like shoehorn any other?
It's Green Lantern
hero
specifically, because
fine.
I love Green Lantern since Jeff Johns did Green Lantern.
Since you were
Rebirth,
on his MySpace.
I was on his MySpace page. True story. I was on Jeff Johns' top 8 in MySpace once, so.
You have a screenshot of it somewhere.
I'm kind of a big deal. But in any case, I'm always trying to find ways. I was just gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna say it. Green Lantern is my favorite DC character. I think because I just love the mythos.
Okay.
I love that. I mean, I love the Flash. I love Batman. You can't go wrong with Batman. But there's something about Green Lantern and how the mythology there that was built up. Is it
a specific Green Lantern, or is it just Green Lanterns
Green
in
Lanterns
general?
in general. I mean, right now there's like 6 of them from Earth alone in the comics. But Hal Jordan, I mean, the only thing I don't like about Hal Jordan is how it's basically like every time he's introduced, he's the greatest Green Lantern of them all. And it's like, all right, we get it. You're really good at your job. Just fucking tone it down a notch. But in any case, I'm always trying to find ways that we can shoehorn in Green Lantern. The last time I talked about was the
Stephen Amell.
Stephen in Arrow. They could have incorporated it there because they could have done in season when season 4 season 4 ended. Season 5, since they do all these stupid flashbacks, which thank God they're gone, that he could have spent the season hanging around with Hal Jordan, and then at the end of the season from Ferris Air, which they've already referenced in a Flash episode, I think they've referenced it in Arrow too.
I want to say Arrow because that's where you would have made the connection.
And they did. I thought they did say that. It's like, oh, is that where the pilot went missing? I think
they
did say
there
that
was
too.
Something like that.
But in any case, like they could have done that, and since we know that Oliver Queen has to end up on the island again before the beginning of the season, he could have been flying in a plane with Hal Jordan. That plane gets hit and blown up by a Green Lantern ring that's searching for its owner. It's Abin Sur's ring that's looking for a new host. Green Lantern and Oliver. We probably did this. But in any case, I'm rehashing it because I still wish they would have done that. But so now moving over to Supergirl, he could have
being
Mon-El. Gets stuck in the wormhole, ends up on Oa, the headquarters.
Planet.
No, that's Mogo.
The
headquarters of the Green Lantern Corps, and he becomes a Green Lantern. And by becoming a Green Lantern, he would have like some sort of barrier around his entire body, because that's what protects him in space, and that could potentially allow him to breathe the Earth's atmosphere again, because they said this was like a permanent change. It was like, we're gonna fuck this guy up so bad that he can never set foot on Earth again, but perhaps with the filter of a Green Lantern ring he would be okay to come back. So I'm just throwing that out there. There is also a famous Daxamite Green Lantern named Sodom Yat that possessed the ion.
Is it Sodom Yat or Sodom Yacht?
It's, I don't know, it's YAT. I said Yat when I think about it.
I said Yacht.
Yakety Yat. Don't talk about it. No? Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, I wasn't saying that. That was the song. You know what I'm talking about. I wasn't saying like, now be quiet, woman, while I speak the rest of this. But that's what I'm hoping for, is that he comes back in some way of a Green Lantern, because I love the Green Lanterns.
And I love Mon-El.
And you love Mon-El. So in any case,
or at least
the best
this
of both
character.
worlds.
So if he, in efforts to hide from the rest of the Daxamites, decides to go by Sodom Yacht and reappear on Earth, I am totally down for that.
Yes. We need a space cop show. That's what we need. So that's...
that worked out so well with Firefly.
Yeah, well, look, that was a Western. It was a space Western. But, and also at the very end, like the little teaser, I guess, leading into it was that you had They showed the final moments of Krypton again. You saw Kal-El being sent off. You saw Kara being sent off. And then there was a third baby, blessed in blood, and sent after them. And some kind of like weird Kryptonian devil worshippers that are like also going to send a baby to Earth. Now, I think this is going to be Doomsday because that seems like the only logical thing to do there. But I also have no idea. Like, it could just be some other like Kryptonian. It could be Zod. You don't know, but like they could reboot Zod in that manner.
Didn't they?
They
talked about Zod though.
Did
they remember when Kara and Supergirl and Superman were fighting.
Oh yes,
when he was
yes,
under
yes, yes.
the
So in that episode, that Superman was under some sort of weird
spell,
and he
whatever.
was imagining that he was fighting Zod when he was really fighting Supergirl. So yeah, they did have a guy. So I guess it's probably not Zod, but he's the only like Kryptonian that's out there. But so that I think it's probably going to be Doomsday, and that could be something that's building up.
Because
they
already
did a Doomsday.
They already did a Bizarro. That wouldn't even make sense.
They did that. I mean, and then I was like kind of going through my head about this other stuff that they haven't done. They did like a version of Brainiac. It was called like Indigo or something, but
and
it
that
was basically
Supergirl
Brainiac.
From the Smallville show.
Was that her? Yes, it was her.
I'm nodding my head vigorously.
So that they've done that. They've done Bizarro. They've done Metallo. And then they have the Luthors out there as well, but mainly Lena and her mom. Not Lex, although he's referenced frequently as being in jail, but it'd be curious how he would play into a lot of this as well. Or they could do. Well, it was funny because I was also thinking about what if they did Superboy, but did it as a girl, and it's like, well, then that's still Supergirl. Like, what are you gonna do there? Like
child?
Super infant. Like, I don't know, but
Super teen.
That's what I hope to see from the next season. But honestly, more of what they're doing. Like Did you like or dislike when they brought back Cat Grant, Callista Flockhart?
Oh, I like that. I like her character in the show. I like how no nonsense she is.
She serves as a good mentor.
She does,
for her.
And she also serves as a good kick in the butt for anybody else because she really has an outside view of all the situations. So even when she was addressing Guardian, she's like, "Come on, James."
Yeah, I know it's you. I could see your eyes. Which,
Stop
by the way, can they please get rid of that stupid ass suit? Like, it looks dumb. Plus, not for nothing, but he looked just like all of the Daxamites that were invading, so I couldn't tell one from the other. The same exact outfit. But that was like the worst part of the season. Is every time he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go and fight crime too." Oh, man, stop it. You're Jimmy Olsen. Just stop it.
And what's with? I mean, it's him and Dig in these like full masks. I'd hate to, categorize it because
it's only a black guy.
Well, but then you have Wally, who has the half face mask. So I mean,
I don't know.
And there, and then Jax on Legends.
Yeah, he's out there. Well, those are the regular human dudes, I guess. But that was the part.
Regular
human
black
guys.
humans.
Yeah,
are too dangerous.
Yeah. Wow, you said that, not me.
No. But what? Yeah. That's what I'm like. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
I'm like, because there was that. I think it was Jimmy who was like, "I'm a friend. James was like, "I'm a good guy." It's unfortunate that that's the first thing that has to come out of. A black superhero's mouth is, "I'm a good guy. Yeah. I'm not going to hurt you," which really says something to society not right now, but in general. Okay. Whereas the superhero black guys, the guys with powers, they're just like, "What's up? I'm here." Yeah.
That's a really good point. Oh man. Well, look, we'll see what happens with Black Lightning. He only has a mask,
but he has powers.
Yes, I know. It's true. You fall into that. I don't know. That's really weird. We got into a weird race talk.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, like anything else in Supergirl you liked or didn't like? What would you like to highlight from that? I feel like we could spend this entire episode just talking about Supergirl, but I want to make sure we kind of cover the basics and then move on.
I'm pretty sure I know your opinion on this, but Mixie.
Oh yeah, the best. Like I love the way they handled it. They didn't have to have him have Gilbert Gottfried's voice or anything like that. He was just
or
this
he's
like
some like little weird fairy or imp kind of thing.
Yeah, he was just like a floater. He was basically like Balky from Perfect Strangers, who just kind of showed up and was like, "Oh hey, we're gonna do this crazy stuff," like or Q from Star Trek Next Generation, where he just kind of like popped up,
but less evil,
and less evil, more playful. And just kind of messing up everything. So I like that incorporation. I think, and then when they did that, that was what led into the musical episode. No, it didn't. That was right before, wasn't it? Or no? But the musical episode was really good. Although that was really less of a crossover because they only had that show up at the very end of Supergirl, just like what they did with the 4-part crossover. Mm-hmm. But that was all in the Flash, which we'll get to in a minute.
Right. But I wanted to go back to.
But he was definitely the best.
Mixed Play was the best. And just the fact that he played a love interest instead of just being like, "Hey, I'm here to
I'm here to mess with, like, to play around with you and just mess up your life for a little while, Superman."
Yeah. So I really like how they adjusted the character to fit in the Supergirl storyline.
All right. Aside from Mon-El, is there anything you'd want to come back or to come into the next season?
Well, as you already said, the musical episode, I would love to see her, do more singing, because she was she was the only female character who sang in the musical episode.
That's right.
Which was, quite frankly, astonishing to me.
Well, there's a lot of Broadway dudes on the
shows. Yeah, there is, but you couldn't find another woman in all those other shows that could sing?
I don't know. Maybe they're all not good at it. We don't know. I mean, some of them are not good at acting or having any chemistry, which we'll get to in a sec. But
that is also true.
I think my thinking is she needs another like superpowered character. Because you have Martian Manhunter who pops up every so often, but I feel like
he's also a mentor. There needs to be somebody more her level to be
like
a friend,
what Mon-El was.
Right.
I feel like there should be another kind of like, it could be another alien. I'm sure that there's others out there aside from Martian Manhunter.
Well, I mean, I thought that's what they were trying to do with Lena, is make her Kara's equal. So we've already established that Lena is terribly smart. She just is having a hard time with gray areas.
Yeah, but she's the one person in the entire show
who doesn't
know that her secret identity. So she's friends with Kara Danvers, and she's hung out with Supergirl, but she doesn't know that they're the same person. Everyone else in the entire show, everyone, even Cat Grant, who reveals at the end of the season that she knew who she really knows, because she's way too smart for it. It's the argument against Lois Lane. Basically, because like the whole thing is like Lois Lane is this brilliant reporter, investigative journalist, and she doesn't know that the guy that she's been sitting next to all this time is friggin' Superman.
The guy who carries her and saves her
all the time.
Okay.
So that happens. So it's kind of it's a disservice to Lena Luthor in that she is such an intelligent human being, and they show her capable of doing all these amazing things. And she doesn't know that, like...
Her purported best friend.
Yeah, her best friend is also Supergirl. Like, it's kind of dumb there. And I like that. That is actually a theme. Not a woman being dumb, but the idea that the secret identity doesn't really matter. I think that's a lesson they learned from Smallville, because those are always the worst parts of Smallville, about Clark having to explain why he had to run off, and he's like, oh, I don't know, I gotta go to the bathroom, I got my dick stuck in a zipper, I don't know, I had to lift the tractor, not that one, I'm sorry. Like, it was always like really weird and awkward and confusing, and it was always like, well, Clark's hiding something, he has secrets, I don't know what he's talking about. And it's not like he's a heroin dealer, he's just a dopey Midwestern kid who happens to have superpowers. Like, the whole thing was like really convoluted and dumb. And they did away with it with all of the shows. There is no one, even the villains know who they are in real life, as evidenced by Prometheus and Arrow this entire season. And very rarely, it seems, do they encounter, and then even if they bring someone new into the fold, within like 2 episodes they know who they are. So they really, in the scheme of the overall Arrowverse, there's like 3 people that don't know a secret identity, and it's Lena Luthor, Patty Spivot from the Flash. Remember his but
she's not even around anymore.
Not anymore. But I think that would have been so much better, because that was if that would have changed entirely if he just told her what her secret identity was.
That was another relationship that was that was great.
And I think that's it. I actually think that's it. In all of the shows, there's no one in Arrow that doesn't know who all of those people are. Everyone that's brought in knows who they are. And then the same thing, even like at the end of Flash this season, they brought in some like weird girl who's going to be a scientist now.
Right.
And she found out the secret identity in like 2 episodes.
The second episode that she was in, yeah.
So, but speaking of Flash, let's jump into Flash then. So,
all right.
This entire season building up to the death of Iris West, and unfortunately, she didn't die. We just don't care about that character. It's maybe not don't care about the character, but definitely the forced love interest between her and the Flash, because there was just no chemistry there.
There's and he has chemistry with quite literally everyone else.
Everyone else is either their best friend, their like little brother, or in the case of Patty Spivot, soulmates. They were perfect together. Or even, you can look at Felicity and Supergirl. Those are perfect like complements.
Yes. So
they would
like
be really well together as well.
Because we've seen them. Barry was initially a potential love rival.
Yeah.
For Felicity with Oliver, and then in the first crossover episode where Barry gets jettisoned to Earth, whatever, with Supergirl, their chemistry there's perfect.
It's
they were
awesome.
just like it was. Like you were meant to just hang out together.
Yeah.
Just meant to. Like this was perfect. And you see snippets of that, ever since whenever they do crossovers.
Yeah.
Just they have it and it works and it's amazing.
It's really it's fun is what it is. So which is unfortunately kind of the complete opposite of what Arrow
was trying to do
bit.
For this season of Arrow.
I mean, they got a little bit better, but I think it's still. I don't know what it was.
When
stay
did
on
it
the
get
Flash.
better?
I'll talk about that in a minute. But staying on Flash, it was all. There ended up being a little twist there where the Harrison Wells from whatever that
which I totally
last
called.
Was, you called.
I
you
totally called that.
He used it. He had a very convenient face transmogrifier thing.
That Barry used to sneak into Argus.
Yes.
And
they had to use
suddenly,
in that episode.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So he had to be I'm butchering her name. What is her name again?
Iris?
No.
What?
Diggle's
wife? I don't remember. Lila?
Lila. So he had to be Lila.
Yeah.
And there were power dampeners, so he couldn't use his speed.
Yeah,
so suddenly he's a fucking ninja and leaping over things and knocking people out.
They had to do that all very elaborate to reintroduce that device, which they had in the very beginning of the season.
Right.
And then they had to like remind people that, hey, we got this thing. Remember?
Face
it changes your face, and that did it. So.
They had to steal something from Argus, whatever. But then she ended up giving it to them anyway. But we had a fun scene with the shark, King Shark.
King Shark and Captain Cold, more importantly. R.I.P. He's the best part. Like, there's a reason why they keep bringing him back, because he's so good. He's so good. They should never killed him. And plus, you have a whole other show that's based around time travel. Just bring him back. Keep him in the show again, because he's so perfect. Well, Captain Cold.
He's also in Prison Break 2.0 or whatever the hell
whatever
it
they're
is.
doing with that. But man, he's so good in this show.
Yeah, he is perfect as Cold, which we emphasized last time.
Yeah. So it was all build up for this, and then that didn't happen. Savitar in his stupid Transformer costume,
which ended up being surprise.
Was Barry from
what the fuck?
Like a time remnant, some other bullshit. Like, all right, whatever. Like, I hated that costume. It looked like fucking Megatron from the Michael Bay Transformers movies. It was so dumb looking. It's like, for some, I get that it's supposed to like harness the speed power or something, like the excess speed energy or whatever nonsense, but it is not aerodynamic in the slightest. He looks like a big ball of like twine and metal shit that just kind of like, it looks like a Katamari ball that just got turned into a person. That's what that looks like.
What is wrong with you? It does not look like that at all.
It's like a trash can that came to life. It's just
I would agree with that.
It's a piece of garbage.
But not a Katamari.
No? I don't know. It only picked up metal and fucking iron filings and glow sticks. It's so dumb. It's just it's like a Tron motorcycle that like someone climbed inside. Like the whole thing, it's just so dumb. Again, the God of Speed looks like the bulkiest dude in the world.
Yeah.
It's like a big fucking robot. But in any case,
and I know you
evaporated
you disliked his look as well as Future Barry's look.
Future Barry. Well, wait, no, the future Barry.
Like emo Barry.
Yeah. So Barry Allen never learns from the fact that every single time he goes in the future, time travels in period, he fucks something up, and every single person in his life says, "Don't stop doing that. Will you?
You're fucking shit up. Just stop
doing it." Like Diggle should be more pissed that he had a son and now had a daughter and now has a son. Like shit like that is just like fucking Cisco forgave Barry Allen for effectively killing his brother. Like,
I mean, he was pissed about that for a while.
Yeah,
so that was earned.
But like still he's like, yeah, all right, I guess we're good. We're buds again. But like you're fucking up everyone. Caitlin became Killer Frost because of all this nonsense.
Tom Felton was just like,
what? It suddenly existed. This fucking awkward post-Slytherin lifestyle. Like for someone that knows the consequences of time travel. Boy, did that guy time travel a lot in this season. He was bouncing all over. He kept popping into the future.
Every fucking episode.
He jumped into the future to see to see Iris, and then he kept looking back at it to see if anything changed. He went way into the future to meet his emo self after Iris died.
Well, did he keep going into the future? Cisco kept.
He vibed for that one, yes, but I feel like he just popped in all the time.
Oh yeah, he just kept jumping around.
Yeah, then he went and found Captain Cold wherever he was in time.
In the past, obviously, because he's dead in the future.
Stop doing it, man. You learn from Flashpoint. You fucking broke everything. Stop it. And that's the main problem I have with this, is that clearly Flash is a more important show than Legends of Tomorrow, because Legends of Tomorrow exists specifically to stop people from fucking with the timeline. And this entire season, that's like all that Barry Allen did was fuck with the timeline. The Legends should have just showed up and been like, stop it, okay? Fucking stop it
We're gonna
already.
throw you in the brig.
Yeah, fuck you, man. So, fucking A, like, just stop. Like, it's become a crutch, I think, and that was like one thing I didn't care for when the show is that like every time he got into a mind, I was like, I don't know, we'll just fucking time travel again. I got it. I'm just gonna run really fast, guys. Like, and I think I mentioned it in the last one, but the last time we talked about this, but this is gonna go over your head because it's a fucking Dragon Ball Z reference.
Oh yeah, that's totally going over my head.
Every season so far of The Flash has been like Dragon Ball Z, where there's some unstoppable enemy that's faster than him, whether it's the Reverse Flash or Zoom or Savitar, and he has to figure out how to become faster throughout the entire season, which is the same thing that fucking Goku does in every damn season of Dragon Ball Z. Meet some powerful dude, he has to train really hard and become another level of power. So same thing. So I don't know what's going to happen now that Barry got sucked into the Speed Force with his mom.
Well, he didn't get sucked in there.
He voluntarily walked in because for some reason there's a Speed Force prison that needs to hold a speedster. And Jay Garrick was like, fuck you, I already did this for a little while. Yeah. I'm not going back there.
Oh yeah, you did totally just mail your wedding invitations by hand.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. But hey, maybe you'll fucking time travel again. Maybe Wally will time travel this time.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so that, you know what's funny, like even like the relationship between Wally and Jesse Quick was better than the Barry Allen one.
Well, I know, better than Barry and Iris. Yeah,
it was like awkward teen love.
That whole thing though is just like, yeah, I don't care about Wally and Jesse. I mean, I like them as characters individually, but not terribly as a couple.
What I'm curious of now that Jay Garrick has popped out of that. Or no, he was on Earth
prison.
He was on Earth 3, right? He was on Earth 3, and I thought that was where Jessie Quick went when she was like, I'm just gonna go like be a hero for a while. And she went to Earth 3 because I thought Earth 2 was like fucked up or something like that.
I do not.
So
remember.
I thought that was the case, that she went to Earth 3. So now that Jay Garrick is back and presumably will pick up his role as the Flash again, maybe that means Jessie Quick will pop into
Flash again,
the regular Flash on Earth 1 with Wally. This time around, so we'll see what happens.
Well,
I mean, like, they're not gonna write Barry Allen out of the show.
No, but Barry did say to Cisco at the end, they're gonna look to you for guidance now.
Yeah. Because
guess what? What's his face is dead.
Yeah. Well, Harrison? Yeah, Harrison
Yeah.
Wells. Unless they keep Harrison Wells from Earth 2 now.
Right.
Because he came back and
I know,
hung out
and
everybody.
I'm sure there's another Harrison Wells on another Earth that they could steal.
I like that one is the best. I think that Harrison Wells.
Dick Harrison Wells.
Yeah, Harry. I think because he was the one who just told it like it is, but you could tell that he had heart. He just didn't want to show it. So it I don't know. It worked, and it's also a good like foil for Cisco, where Cisco's all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and he's like very pragmatic. So I think it works well in that kind of like cynical nature there. But like I don't know what they're doing. So that Caitlyn kind of walked off.
Yeah,
she's out there as Killer Frost.
Sorry, no offense to Caitlyn lovers. I don't feel like she does anything.
BJ actually brought up one good point about
BJ
this,
doesn't know the show.
No, but he like read up on like who Savitar was or something at one point. And he said Killer Frost should have been the villain for this season, and I think would have been interesting. Like and then the whole season is Barry coming to terms with the fact that he caused this with the Flashpoint,
right?
And
which I don't think he's I don't feel like he realized that at all. That this is her being Killer Frost is his fault.
Yeah.
Because he's been too preoccupied with, oh my God, Iris is gonna die.
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. I don't think that he fully. But maybe this is a way for him to make amends for all the fuck-ups he did by going into the Speed Force prison. So hopefully, like, he kind of pays his dues in that. Like, yes, he's responsible for Caitlyn becoming Killer Frost, for effectively for Iris dying, for the other Harrison Wells dying, for Cisco's brother to die, for Tom Felton having to come here. So hopefully he does something to kind of pay his dues, and then the Speed Force will probably just let him out after an episode or two. But
so here's a new question. Totally kind of I'm sorry that I was not listening to what you were saying. I heard Tom Felton and I had another thought.
I'm totally used to that. That's
fine. Okay.
But what
will Tom Felton be coming back next year? Is he needed? He was really here as a work villain for Barry in the beginning,
which quickly got old,
and then as a kind of as a love interest
to Caitlyn.
For Caitlyn,
which
she's off the show.
Quick aside, when was the last time?
But he was also in the future.
He was in the future.
He was in the future.
When was he in the future?
With Emo Barry. When they had to round everybody up, so he was still around there. But now that they've changed the
timeline,
again, is he going to be there? Is he not? So is he going to continue on the show?
Yeah.
And if so, what the fuck is he doing there?
I don't know. He's
the new Doctor?
Yeah, potentially, but he's not a doctor.
No, like he's not.
That was like one thing they made sure to point out. And plus, you have that other woman who popped in, who I'm not sold on. Like,
she's like a physicist.
Shoehorned her in at the end.
No,
we don't have a medical doctor, so God forbid anyone gets hurt there. But
the thing is, she wouldn't stay there because she still has her own path to create those other things.
Yeah.
As learned from the future, she just has to follow her own biography on what to do next.
Really. I didn't like how they shoehorned her in. It was too convenient. It was just like, oh, here's someone else. Like, we couldn't figure it out this entire season, so we just found some other woman who did.
So we went to the future, and we told her to fix it soon, to make it sooner.
The future. So, I don't know what I want from that.
Stop relying on time travel.
Stop relying on time travel, and I want you to bring Captain Cold back. Like, that's all I want. Have a real force with the rogues in a way that they really haven't done to date. They could do that, and it would be kind of cool to have the rogues organized in such a fashion where they didn't, it's one-offs here and there, but if you had them in such an organized together where they work together and are a force to be reckoned with, it could be kind of cool. And then they're always going to be a step ahead of the Flash because they would have Captain Cold there, but we have to see how that would work out. So
yeah. We didn't talk about the musical episode at all in just talking about the Flash.
It was fantastic. I loved everything about that. Like, it's ridiculous. The fun. It was such fun songs and everything, dance numbers. I hope they do that every year. Like,
what did you think about the song that they wrote?
I don't remember it. So apparently it wasn't good enough.
It was like Super Friends or something.
Oh yeah, that was lame. But
yeah,
that was really lame. But like, whatever. It's fine.
And Iris's two dads?
Yeah. Whatever. that's fine. Go on.
Like, wait, we need to have a 3-part male harmony to sing More I Cannot Wish You. Um, uh, sure.
It worked. I don't care. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I don't care. I loved it. All right. So Flash. Anything else you want to see from the next season aside from the lack of time travel? That's what I'm pushing. But
yeah. Let's bring Patty back.
Bring Patty Stewart back. Yes. Well, you're gonna need Barry.
Well,
no,
we need Barry for that. But
I predict
Iris.
he ends up paying his dues some extent to the Speed Force, and the Speed Force is like, all right, man, you're good, but like, fucking stop it with the time travel, like seriously. And then they let him out. And I think that'll happen because there's no other speedsters that are gonna pop in there for him unless they go and fucking get
the
dude from the future again, Reverse Flash, because he's floating all over the place in Legends and whatnot. But then they caught him at the end.
About?
Oh no, they caught him at the end, right?
Yeah, and the Black Flash got him.
Yes.
So unless they trap the Black Flash in there,
yeah, that'd be fucked up because that's like death.
Yeah,
that's like capturing Death himself. I mean, they have enough speedsters between Wally and that. No, you know what I really want to see, and I don't know if I think we might have talked about this last time. Is fucking Bart Allen.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Bart is Barry's grandson from the future, and that would be that. I mean, like obviously it would be better if he's there with Barry, but maybe that's where he comes in the very beginning. It's like, I know that the Flash isn't here during this time period, so I've come back in time to be the Flash for you guys until Barry comes back because he's my grandpa. And then it's like,
wait. So how old would this Bart be? Because would he be older than Wally? And Wally would be like, what the fuck?
No.
I should obviously be taking up the Flash mantle.
I think he should be younger than Wally in that case.
So
like, he should be like a teenager.
How would Bart be coming in and be the Flash?
Well, because he's fucking Bart Allen and he doesn't give a fuck. That's why. He doesn't care. Because he's just he runs a mile a minute and he's just like, blah, 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 and he's like, oh, then like immediately before anyone could even ask him, well, what about that? He's going to bing, bing, he's going to be bouncing all over the place. Well, I just did this. I just stopped this guy. And that's what it would add, this like frenetic energy to it that would be a lot of fun, I think. So.
Yeah, because I think everybody that's left on the show is pretty chill.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody.
You don't have that, and it wouldn't be like introducing like a character like when they introduce like the cousin on the Brady Bunch, where it's like, oh, that went over
Cousin
your head.
Oliver,
Cousin Oliver, yeah.
Fuck you.
Like, you looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, why are you bringing the Brady Bunch?
But it's like, oh, well, the ratings are declining. We're gonna bring in a lovable kid. Like it's not like that. What I mean is that would add this like. One, it would be a breath of fresh air after like this humglum kind
season.
of doom and gloom season we had.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my god, she's gonna die. That would be fun. I think it would be kind of crazy.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and then so that would be I'd be down. Like I feel like I'm always trying to find ways to introduce Green Lantern, and I'm always trying to find ways to do that. I mean, they did reference Batman in Supergirl as well, so like they said, you know, like the guy with the and then he put his hands up like the horns or something, or they reference like the guy in Gotham or something, but it's out there. So so that's Flash. We're running low on time, but I think we're good.
We had too much time? We have
but Arrow I think though we're gonna breeze through, because what I think is like Arrow got like mediocre, and I don't know about like what it was, if there was one thing that kind of like made it like, man, this isn't as fun as it was. But I think season 5, if we had watched season 1, 2, and then 5, I think it would have been fine, because in the scheme of things it was a very compelling story with Prometheus getting into his life, and it pulled up like everything they've ever done in Arrow to an extent. I mean, they brought Deathstroke back at the very end, and showing him being Arrow, how flawed he is despite his best efforts, but then that should have turned him around to be a better hero by the end. And I don't think he fully learns that lesson at the end of the season.
Right. Well, because he's put exactly where Prometheus wants him, where he's stuck between choosing.
Yeah. But I think he's better when he has a team.
Of course.
But between Roy Harper leaving and his sister kind of like running away for a little while, and obviously Black Canary dying, that he was like, I don't know. I did like the introduction of the new Black Canary. I think she fit into the group well, especially with Dig.
With Dig and with another character on the side on the police force.
Yes.
So it's not just...
It all worked with the whole mayor thing. So it's like you had a reason for them all to be together during the day because they all got jobs together there, and it all just kind of worked out. I liked Mr. Terrific, although I don't really know what he does on a day-to-day basis now.
Is he still at
Palmer Tech? Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
He's getting divorced.
Yes,
that's all we know.
That's the one it's another casualty of this season is Mr. Terrific's marriage.
Look at that. Marriage
and divorce.
Not staying together. Yeah. So marriage not so much sacred.
Okay. But it wasn't a situation where he was like
where we watched them get together.
Yeah. That was just like that's different, I think. But I think he's a great aspect of the show.
Terrific.
Yeah, I think he's great. I like the new Black Canary. I like Dig. It's just something like Felicity. I think is grating on me a little bit lately, especially with her whole like weird like hacker storyline that was just like too convenient and like, oh, how far is she gonna go? Like it just, I don't know. That fell flat to me.
I get what you're saying, but I do think there was enough of a background for it. I mean, she had already been established as, oh yeah, I had those crazy college days where I was a hacker and the goth phase and whatever.
The dark hair.
Yeah. And with her dad being some super hacker.
The calculator.
Whatever. Yeah. So it's not entirely unbelievable that she would push that boundary because, she is just the girl in the background, typing on the computer, putting things together. Yes, she would totally feel left out because literally everybody else is out there fighting. Curtis, who, despite being an Olympic level black belt, can't fight his way out of a fucking paper bag. Like, and they specifically show that. Like, he just continues to get beat up. Yeah. So why is Felicity always just stuck in the lair?
I'm surprised why he's still going in the field, though. Because I thought they said something.
They reined him back.
Yeah.
They reined him back, so now he's doing, like, research and development.
Yeah.
But he
should be, like, the Cisco of that group. Whereas, like... But then it's like you have two nerdy people because you have Felicity on the computers on surveillance and stuff,
right?
Which Cisco does as well.
But here's what I'm saying is that's what the hacktivist group did for Felicity. She got to be, guess what, in the field.
Yeah.
For that one instance, but.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
In a troop of hackers, who gets to leave the office?
Yeah. It's not exciting. Yeah, they can't all work on iPads. They have all the screens and whatnot.
Right. So I feel like that was a way for her to get out of being behind the computer.
Yeah. And they had her. I mean, they had her whole redemption with the events of the last season with Ragman being like the one sole survivor of the town that she fucking blew up.
Well, yeah.
But I think I'm glad. I like where they settled with the characters. So they got rid of Ragman. They got rid of Artemis to an extent. I liked where they ended up with Wild Dog, especially with him.
Mad Dog.
And Mad Dog, was it? I thought it was Wild Dog, but all right.
I thought it was Mad Dog.
I don't know. Him and Lance, the deputy mayor. Now, I liked that dynamic between the two and how they helped each other. Like that was really a great story, I think.
Yeah. That's one thing I wanted to touch on is that. Here, out of a bunch of characters, a good portion of the men are fathers. Okay, Lance is a dad.
Oliver's a dad.
Dig's a dad.
Yeah.
And Mad Dog is a dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Where the fuck are your kids? Why are there no dads being dads?
Yeah.
Okay. You occasionally see John Jr., but it's mostly like just passing him off.
Yeah.
And really they showed more of baby Sarah.
Yeah, they did. Well, but and that's why I don't get with Oliver's kid because he really only came into play at the end when he became a hostage. Otherwise, I'm sure that he doesn't think about that boy at all.
Right.
It's very like it's he's totally an afterthought and only when something like crazy happens. But but I think that what they were going to try to do by the end there is make it seem like he was going to be more of a force in that kid's life. So it would be curious to see how they play with that. I mean, look, at the end of that season, the fucking island blew up with everyone on it except for Oliver and this little kid. So if only the kid was named Connor, which is his actual son in the comics, who's now disappeared with all the reboots that they've done.
Oh.
But that would have been cool too.
But I mean, I'm going back to this. You have, out of all of the men in this show, who is left? There's Curtis.
Terrific, yeah.
That's it. Okay. Mm-hmm. How do you not have any sort of storylines about your fucking kids?
Well, hold on. Lance's kids are dead. So, well, one's a time traveler now.
But he doesn't. Does he know that?
I
don't remember if he knows
he
that
said
she's...
that like Sarah came back. I thought, but I don't remember.
Okay. Last he knew she was feral or whatever, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember where that left off. But look,
So yes, and he's giving fatherly advice to.
But
Mad
Oliver
Dog.
is didn't even know he had a kid until like a couple years ago. Mad Dog lost his kids, but which he had a reason. And he had a reason why he was afraid to do that. But then he was finally taking the steps to get her back.
Right.
And then Diggle just seems like that kid is probably just being watched by Argus agents every day.
That is one of my big points.
His wife leads Argus.
Right. So, and it's like, okay, so who is watching this kid? Who is watching John Jr.?
Yeah.
Like, if this was a show of women where women had kids, everybody would be losing their shit. Who is watching the children? Why don't men get the same fucking...
You're right.
Like, why?
You're right. No,
why do men get passes? Is it because they're superheroes?
Yeah.
Why can't women be superheroes and have kids too?
They can.
And are they still responsible for watching them while they're not being superheroes?
Well, yeah, because who else is going to clean up the superhero lair, honey, and make all the sandwiches for all the guys? I don't know what you think here, hon. Like, isn't Wonder Woman just the Justice League secretary? I don't understand.
Who is Alfred?
Send your letters to ragingnerdon@gmail.com, folks. Yeah, so now Arrow's ending. The season ended. What I'm looking forward to next season is no more flashbacks. But I don't. What I think they should do is get that team back and like now let this serve as a lesson to Oliver to kind of get his head on straight.
Rely on your fucking team.
Be able to trust people. You do not have to let the entire weight of the world rest on your shoulders and handle everything. Everything is not your fault as well.
Everything is Barry's fault.
Yeah, everything is Barry's fault, which we've already established. So let's get in there. Like, I think if they get into a team and they form their own little mini Justice League of all those like street level heroes, it would be pretty cool. And then I don't know enough about some of his other villains, like the other rogues gallery of the Green Arrow. I mean, they've done Count Vertigo and Merlin, but those are kind of like the basics,
and big question mark as to whether Merlin's dead.
Yeah, they didn't see a body, folks. So no body, no death. That's the comic book rule. So I don't know who else I could do. I mean, I'd love to see now that Deathstroke is out and about. Like, he's not gonna die there.
Talia's around.
Talia's out there. Well, she was on the island too. So like everyone, they could kill everyone or no one.
Right.
So because they're all out there, but I think Deathstroke would be a formidable villain again. Although they did do that in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't really know where they could go. You kind of need more street level characters as villains. You need street level villains. So it's almost like you have to kind of steal from like Batman's rogues gallery. Although again, like I'm sure that Green Arrow has other villains that I just don't know. I'm not as well versed in his team and his villains, his rogues gallery. But I feel like you need that street level character. That's why Prometheus works so well, because he's just a dude.
All right, so going from there, because I know we're running low on time.
Legends, that's out there. That ended. It ended with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like, I just want Booster Gold. Just fucking put Booster Gold in it. So I want Green Lantern, I want Bart Allen, and I want Booster Gold. That's all I want. Berlanti, hit me up. We know that Warner Brothers listens to this show because it fucking happens all the time where they steal our shit. So that's what you got to do. You want to take those out. You put all 3 of them. You're never gonna be failures ever. You're just gonna be fine. That's what I need. I don't have a suggestion for Arrow. That's why it's been squandering lately. It's been I don't have a suggestion for that. I'll think about it.
All right. What do you feel? How do you feel about the bromance between Ray Palmer and Steel.
It's fine. I don't like what they made Ray Palmer like almost like a dumb character lately, but like he's got a fucking PhD. Like he's
got a
smart
couple.
person. He's a really smart guy, and he's just like, well, I like Star Wars. Like, okay, you doofus. So I'm
like, yes, Brandon Routh has good comedic chops, but like this is not smart funny. This is
doofy. That's none of those are words.
No.
Doofy. Yeah,
I think it's the word you're looking at. It's doofy. And Steele is supposed to be a historian.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to be friggin' smart too. So this whole thing where they dumb them down together just seems out of character.
Yeah.
So it's like the writers don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
Are the writers not smart enough to write adequate, intelligent conversation?
No, because I mean, look at everything that they do in the Flash. Like the Flash they're constantly throwing out.
Is that the same?
I don't know if it's the
team?
same. I know it's the same executive producers with Berlanti and Andrew Kreisberg and a few other folks like that. But
they would need to have their own writing teams.
Yeah. They probably have their own writing staff and everything. But I don't really know what else I want from that. I mean, like obviously they're gonna have to deal with fucking dinosaurs because they fucked up the timeline again. Like guys, you set out to fix the timeline. You fucked it all up.
Well, no. Okay, for this season, they've been out to stop
the bad guys from fucking up the timeline,
from cementing
yes.
and fucking with the spear of destiny. Okay, destiny is not specifically the timeline.
Yeah.
You know, so that obviously was the priority. Maybe now they'll go back and fix some timeline riffs.
Yeah.
But one of the other things, and I'm getting too heady in this, is that okay, you have 2 female characters in this show. Okay, how would you describe those characters?
One is a lesbian.
Thank you.
The other one is
not a lesbian.
Is taken out of time and should not be procreating with anybody on the ship.
But in terms of their personalities, they're both very headstrong, very what's my word here? They're both very warrior women. Yeah. Okay.
They need like a Felicity.
They need a female character who's either more on the intelligent side or on the and I don't want to say like on the more nurturing side, but I feel like that's what they need. They don't have a nurturing character on that show.
Yeah. There's no one's there to. There's no hugs or anything. There's no one's there to bring that up. Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think if there's any kind of character that could go in there.
Stein is like.
Yeah, he's like
he's
everyone's
the
grandpa.
oldest, so he's the grandpa character. Lance is kind of holding the team together in Rip's absence.
Well, but didn't Rip left at the end of it?
Yeah,
right?
he did.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. I don't know what I want then for that. I think they could use another woman on the show that would help balance things out. I mean, there's also elements they could pull in, like from a mystery standpoint. There is another Atom. Ryan Choi takes over the role of the Atom later on.
Oh,
but I brought him. No.
I like
but
Palmer.
there could be a thing where he shows up, and he's like, I'm almost like either a protege of Ray Palmer, or he's someone that is. He shows up because Ray disappears, and like I don't know, because there's something that they could do there. I feel like that's going to be a stretch though to introduce someone like that. But they could just explore some of the other futures. Like we've seen other futures in the Flash now.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some of the stuff in Arrow. Remember when they had? I think that was where they had Connor Hawke actually. Oh no, it was like John Dickel Jr.
You're right. Right.
Him. So they could go and explore other stuff, and then even the other stuff in the past. But I don't know what the heck they're gonna do with all the dinosaurs and shit. And are they gonna address the fact that there's dinosaurs in the other shows?
Oh yeah, I asked that question at the end, and you were like, nah.
I don't know, because they don't seem to care about Legends when they're fucking up the timeline in the Flash. So
right.
You know what they could bring in with this is I think it's a Jack Kirby creation, but Kamandi, I think it's pronounced that Kamandi, Kamandi, the last boy. He is
another boy,
but he's basically a caveman in the future. Like after the whole fucking planet is all screwed up, he is like the only one there. He's like Kazar from Savage Land in the Marvel universe, but he's just like the last dude I don't really know much about him, but he's a Jack Kirby thing, so it could be maybe he gets brought in for this to help commandeer all of the dinosaurs in some way. But there's like a dinosaur, not like a dinosaur, there's some sort of monster island or something like that. Animal Man. That would be fucking great. Fuck Vixen, bring Animal Man into this. No, you know what? Fuck that. That's what Arrow needs. They need fucking Animal Man. You already had Vixen show up. Bring Animal Man in. That would be fucking awesome.
What's he gonna do in the middle of the city?
Fucking pigeons, squirrels. He'd be really fast, I'm sure. I don't know. There's some idiot out there, some millionaire in fucking Star City who's got a pet tiger or something like that. He can just boop boop pop into. I mean, they're doing we haven't watched it, but there is a cartoon Vixen series on the CWC. They're also doing one for the Ray and for Constantine now.
Right.
So those are going to be coming as well. I'm curious, and Constantine will be voiced by the same guy, Matt Ryan, who played him in the show and then also played him when he came back into Arrow. So there is a supernatural element there, but I didn't like that when they crossed that into Arrow. And then the Ray is really more of he doesn't fit in any of them because he's not really an alien, but he's definitely a meta, so he's more of like a Flash character or even Legends. Probably be better off in Legends. But no, then you have Firestorm. You don't need him there. Oh, by the way, you know what the Ray's real name is?
Frederick?
Ray. His first fucking name is Ray. It's the laziest fucking superhero name. Well, like it's the guy. His first name is legitimately Ray, and his superhero name is the Ray. Fuck you, man. Like fuck you, DC. Like really, you couldn't think of something better. So I don't know. We got to watch those as well and make an opinion of that kind of stuff. But yeah. That's it. Anything else? I
did want to mention the one episode of Legends where the villains already had the Spear of Destiny, and Merlin's on the phone, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll come down to the hotel like another time. We'll work it out. We'll play around at golf. Give my love to Mel." Where
so he's very clearly on the phone with Donald Trump.
It's very clear that he's on the phone with Donald Trump. And Mel being Melania Trump. Yeah. And it just works so perfectly because, look, here's the bad guys, and they're talking to Donald Trump because they're buddies.
Of course.
Of course. So I've just found that, I found that hilarious when it aired, and you were just like, why are you laughing?
You know what else I just figured out of what I'm going to look forward to in the next season of Arrow?
Trump jokes?
No more of his dumb wig from the flashback. Like that's done. Like no more wig. He's just got his regular hair.
Or he's going to have other flashbacks.
No.
Of things that
No, there's no reason
in between
of him partying for there's no reason for him to do it. The flashback should be over because that was a plot device that just kind of outstayed its welcome. So all right, that's that. If you think we missed something, you want to chime in, you could certainly send us a note, ragingnerdon@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter @ragingnerdonpod. We'll plan to do this again probably after the crossover event, which is November 2017. We'll do another crossover, and then we'll probably do another season ender like this. This is fun because I don't really get to talk about these too many other folks. I got one guy at work, which I try to narrow it all down in like 5 minutes when he's walking past me, which is not just easier said than done. So
and I think this was rather a longer episode. We clearly spent a whole ton of time.
Well, we spent more time on the upfront talk too. If we cut that out,
that's
then
true.
But we're
that's
gonna,
true.
We're gonna keep that in there. Yeah, but that's that. If folks want to find you online, you are at the Mon Jams on Twitter.
On Twitter.
So you can do that.
On Instagram.
Yep. So that's that, and then otherwise, ragingnerd gmail.com, ragingnerdonpod, and of course, if you like the show, subscribe it on iTunes is the best way to get it. We have completed our server migration, everything's all set there, so you can get it iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and whatnot. But that is it for this episode of Raging Nerd On, another edition of the Arrowverse retrospective, which I should probably find a better name for that in the interim. But I have been James Ferguson.
I'm Monica Ferguson.
Nerd On. That's it, honey. We recorded a podcast.